welcome to Crisis Crafts. If you don't know who I am, my name is Meg. I have been crocheting for like 2 years now. I'm kind of experimenting with pattern design at the moment and pattern testing and things like that. But I have ADHD, so I'm like ridiculously bad at finishing things. And I'm always hunting the dopamine of starting a new project. So we've put some rules in place. There are only 2 spots in the house where I can crochet. This is kind of for a balance thing more so than a finishing things thing. And I can only have 2 projects on the go at once. And also new yarn purchases have to be verified by the rest of my household because I'm an ADHD overspender on hobbies. But I want to make an effort to, you know, finish off what I've got going on, because I know that sometimes that like last 10% of a project is like the hardest thing to do, but it doesn't really mean anything until that last 90% is done, because it's not like you can wear it, it's not like you can use it. So yeah, my plan this week, I've got a bunch of whips. I'm going to try and rattle through some of them. Some of them are more involved, some of them are just finishing. So the first one I'm starting off with literally just needs ends weaving in, but it's been sat like this for over a week. In fact, it's probably close to 2 weeks. I'm trying to let my hair air dry, but it looks terrible on camera. And I have a gross thing here, but disregard that. So this is a pattern test for JustTheWorsted. It is called the Trails Tee. And as I say, I literally just have to weave the ends in. But the problem is there's quite a few. I tried to be as good about carrying up my yarn, as you can kind of see by the twists. But where all the ends meet, there's still a lot of ends. So I'm going to start sewing them in. And I'm gonna stick on like a movie on my laptop or something while I do it, and then hopefully I can get this done today and get some pictures taken of it and submit like my feedback forms and stuff for the pattern test. I'm about halfway through Delicious in Dungeon, so I think that's what I'm gonna put on, and we'll see how long it takes me and how many episodes I need to get through to get this top finished. I just came on here to tell you that I'd done them all, but then I just found one. Of course. Is there any more? Is there any more? No. Okay, let's just get this one done and then I can say that this is done.
Why?
We're done. Can't believe it, we're done. This is so good. This is my first ever pattern test. I'm so glad it's done because it was an absolute trial. This is the second version of it. The first one went horribly. It's a very simple pattern, nothing to do with the pattern. My tension was just so bad. I was originally using a cotton polyester blend and it had no stretch. And I ended up with a garment that was 3 sizes too small for me. Whereas this one I just did with some acrylic that I had in my stash, kind of just to get it done. But I kind of like it more than I thought I would. It's got a lot more drape than I was expecting it to have. And yeah, let me put it on. Voila. One Trails Tee. Finito. All done. It's maybe a bit on the boxy side, just because I've got really thin shoulders, but a wide body. That's more of a me thing though than anything else. So the sleeves come up quite long on me. But again, I'm very short, so all of these proportions are going to be way out of whack for me. I'm super happy with it. I really am. I might just wear it for the rest of the day, because again. The next project requires some blocking. Also, I'm on an armchair now, in case you wondered why I was such a midget in this chair. I've been working on yet another pattern test. This one's also for JustTheWorsted, and also because of a tee. This one is the Trellis Cardigan. It looks like this. So yeah, the torso's all done. It's warping again, which is a little bit of a pain, but we can deal with that in the final block once I've done the edging and everything. I do need to attach the sleeves though, and they are unblocked. So yeah, these are some parallelograms, to say the least. I'm not really looking to gain any length on these. I'm more so looking to just straighten them out. That's the gist. Anyway, I'm going to try and straighten these out. And while I do that, I'm going to finish off the ends on that. Today's an ends day. I really hope I can get to some actual crochet today because I really miss it. We have one sleeve on. I really like it so far. I'm loving it. I think it's really cute. I'm so excited. I have the perfect dress to wear with it for like the photos that I'm going to send off to Lindsay. So I'm just excited. I really like it. I think the fit's not too bad. I think everything's always going to have this, especially like drop shoulder when it's me, because I have a gut and like, you know, big size but small shoulders, you know, but I'm quite happy. The seaming is actually quite nice. I actually bothered with doing the mattress stitch because, you know, pattern test, I was told to. I love the buttons. I think they're so cute. I'm really excited to finish this now. It has put a fire up my bum. Also, the warping isn't as terrible now that I've got a sleeve on, and the sleeve itself isn't crazy warpy as well. It kind of looks a little bit flared, but I think that's just how it's meant to be. So yeah, I'm gonna finish this arm. And then I need to get a hook from upstairs because I took all my hooks upstairs that I didn't need for these projects. So I'll get a hook and I will get the next project when I do that. Okay, it's a little later in the evening. I've got in my pajamas. I'm in my Cheetah Girls t-shirt because why not? I've put away the Trellis Cardigan for now. I've done all the edging. Literally all that's left to do is weaving those ends. And I'm saving that as a task for tomorrow morning when I've got a little bit more discipline and willpower, to be quite honest with you. Plus it'd be nice to kind of spread out the wins across the week a little bit more. So yeah, and since we finished the trails tee, we can bring another project into the rotation. So I am unveiling the next project I want to work on, which is a sample of a t-shirt kind of short sleeve jumper design that I want to write a pattern for because I think it's gorgeous so far. And I've just got to make the rest of it gorgeous. And then I'll be like, yes, let's share this. So, which way round is it? This way round. Okay, so this is the beginning of a cute little t-shirt, as you can see. I did the yoke in kind of like a raglan way, but because it's really uneven, like the back is very high and the bottom is like a v-neck, it didn't really make much sense to do sleeve increases like for the cap sleeves as I went. So instead, once I'd got like the yoke shape I was after, I fastened off and we're now working from the center seam outwards, doing some short rows just to give it a bit more shaping around the bust, because I have this idea of this being quite a fashionable, fashionable sounds silly. Let me rephrase that. I have this idea of it being quite a form-fitting top, so I'm trying to make it work for me, basically. So yeah, I've got a little bit more of the front to do just to kind of balance out the shaping on both sides, and then I can kind of assess what needs to be done in the undersleeve gusset on each side. And then the back will be easy. It's just connecting the two. Like, it's going to be fine. But yeah, so I'm making this in acrylic. This was stash acrylic, create double knit. What I'm going to do once I've done that is I'm going to grade and write the pattern. And what I'm hoping is I'm at a point with my stash at that point where I can invest in some sort of cotton, either cotton acrylic, cotton merino, or bamboo mix yarn to give this a bit more stitch definition for like the sample I'm going to use for like the images for the pattern. That's my plan, but that's way up in the future. So I've got to get this sample done first and then we'll be good. Okay, it's like 10 p.m. I'm gonna head to bed in a minute, but I wanted to show you how far we got with this in the end, which is ultimately not very far. I was doing this weird short row shaping, it wasn't working, so I frogged it. I then tried doing individual cups. I didn't like the way that looked, so we're now onto like the ribbing style, I guess, is the way I'm gonna call it. I'll talk more about it in the morning, but yeah, Peepy boy up there, Peepy boy down there. I'm gonna head to bed in the morning. Good morning, it's Tuesday. I'm currently working on weaving in the ends of the Trellis Cardigan. I'm hoping for a win. I feel like this can get done quite quickly. I'm hoping I can get it done within a space of an hour. It's 10 a.m. now. I feel like I can get it done before 11. Let's see if I can. You see that right there? That literally means we did it just in the nick of time. It is done. Look at it. I will put it on shortly. I can't be bothered right now. I think I'm gonna go play Stardew Valley for a bit. It's an absolutely miserable day outside. And I don't know, something in my body just said, play Stardew Valley for 4 hours. And so I did. So now it's like 3 p.m. All I did was sew in some ends today. So I kind of wanted to think through why I wasn't crocheting. And I realised I'm just really uninspired at the moment by this pattern that I'm trying to write. I don't think it'll be too bad in the long run. I feel like as long as I've got something to work on that's a little bit easier in the meantime, while I'm doing it, while it's in my rotation, I don't think it'll be too bad and I think I will get it done. But I was trying to finish that before I picked up another thing in the rotation. I was trying to mono project it and I didn't want to do that. So it's time to bring in yet another project for the rotation. One of the patterns I've really enjoyed making was the Lunar Cardigan by Mrs. Moonheaven, Jada. And I kind of wanted to make a Tunisian crochet version. And I don't know if one exists already, so forgive me if there's one out there. But if there isn't, I might write a pattern of it. So far, I've got these panels done. I've done a cute little, slightly fun, funky checkerboard one. This was just with scrap that I was left over from a Christmas present I made for one of my sisters. And I had to buy a second ball of this multicoloured tweed yarn. Problem is, they're 400 gram skeins and I literally needed about 5 grams to finish what I needed to do. So I ended the project with a massive ball of this Wendy with all tweed. So it's been sitting around and I've been wanting to find something to do with it. And I had this idea in my head. Originally, I wanted to do a celestial kind of steampunk, think like Jules Verne. If you've ever been to Disneyland Paris, Discoveryland of Disneyland Paris, those sort of vibes. So like rich, like bronzy golds and deep reds and things and like blues and teals. Like that was my original vibe, and then to do like some sort of like star decals as part of it. But I don't have the yarn for that right now and I'm trying to work through my stash. So I thought I'd do the prototype in this kind of primary colours. I made a graph for something that kind of looks like an alphabet block. So I guess the vibe is like preschool? I don't really know. But I'm going to carry on with this because it's really fun and it's join as you go. So it's really easy. But I will actually, before I do any of it, do my future self a favour and weave in some ends. Look at me being all responsible. I'm wearing the cardigan, as you can see. I think it looks gorgeous. I'm so excited about it. This is not the outfit I had planned for it. I'll probably wear that on Friday because I'm going out on Friday. So I'll get some action shots, I guess, is probably the right word. But yeah, how's it going? This is the second half of the cardigan. I'm about to attach it. The next panel that I do kind of does the join as you go, but I did the cool little smiley face tapestry in the center there. It's a little bit curly, but like once that's all part of the join as you go, it should, you know, stretch itself out. So that's going really well and I'm really chuffed with that. I've been thinking long and hard about the sesame tip and the amount of times I've had to frog it, and I'm feeling very uninspired by it right now. And for that reason, I think I am going to frog it. I have the notes if I want to redo it, but right now it's taking up space in my whip rotation and I don't think I'm going to get to it. I think it's just going to be one of those things that sits there for a while. I feel like I'm going to need to be really inspired to really go back to it. So I'm frogging it. I feel like this is also a project that would probably lend itself a bit better to being like a cross between knit and crochet, like a crochet yoke. In fact, the inspiration I drew from was just that. And I was hoping I could do something that had that same vibe but was completely crochet, and I just didn't achieve it. Some things are better in crochet and some things are better in knit, and it's not a bad thing to be able to tell the difference, I don't think. I think absolutely do whatever you want with knit and crochet, but if you're trying to achieve a look that's achieved through like knit and you're really trying to keep it to that high standard that the original garment or whatever had, it can be quite challenging. And also, I'm not a particularly advanced crocheter. I can follow patterns, yes, but I've not done things like short rows or anything like that really before. This was my first real experiment with that. And I feel like maybe self-drafting was not the application for it in my particular personal experience. I think if you can do that, then great. But for me, I think I needed to follow an example first, like follow a pattern that involved short row shaping so I could understand the way that the fabric moves when you do short row shaping. But yeah, I don't think that this was my best idea. I'm going to keep the yoke. I think the yoke is cute, and I'll do something with it if I don't. I feel like I can do something with it. I'll find something to do with it, but not right now. But the rest of the yarn I'm frogging once again, and for good. Maybe once I am a bit more accomplished with knitting and I've actually finished something that I knit, I can go back and really create the vibe I was going for, even if it is just for me, because I don't know that many people that do knit and crochet patterns like combined. It's a niche audience for sure. So yeah, the next whip in my rotation is something new. It's not a whip that currently lives, but it's a very, very small project, and I'm intending for this to be in and out of my rotation within a few days, if that. And that is the Estrad Scarf by Tanya's Crochet. I've been loving the mini scarves. They don't look good as a scarf on me. I really like them as kind of like a bandana or as like a hair tie. And the first thing I wanted to knit when I first learnt was a Sophie scarf. But the counting, I was losing count quite a lot. If you've ever done a pattern, there's like a multiple, and because I don't know the construction of a knit stitch in the same way I know the construction of crochet stitches, it was really hard for me to count the rows. And I'm so used to relying on my ability to just count them when I need to in crochet that I just got lost. So I'm trying it with a crochet scarf version instead. This is one of the yarns I bought to make a Sophie scarf with, and it is King Cole Cherish Baby Double Knitting, and this is the shade Custard Cream, and it's 100 grams, so it should be enough to do both a Sophie scarf in knit and this Estrad scarf in crochet. So let's hope that it is. That said, I need to find a hook that is appropriate. I thought I had one on me, but I don't. Bear with me. As luck would have it, I found not one, but two. The one I was expecting to find was on a project I was going to frog anyway, so that's good. And then I remembered I have an ergonomic one in my work bag because I kept fooling myself into thinking I was going to crochet at work. Also a good time to point out that this set from Knit Pro has been a massive, massive win. I got it for Christmas from my mum, so well done, Mum. Thank you so much. You have changed the game. My Tunisian crochet is unstoppable now. And believe it or not, the cables work perfectly with the same line of knitting needles. So when I needed a big pair of chunky knitting needles to do a project, I just got the needles and I didn't need to get the cables. It was really handy. Maybe I'll throw that knitting project into rotation soon because it's very quick to finish because I am on skein 3 of 3. It's just a really simple garter stitch scarf in a very chunky yarn. And it feels amazing. It's so squishy. It's Wool and the Gang Al Pacino Merino Twist in the green colour. I think it's called like Heritage Mix or something like that. It's gorgeous and I cannot wait for it to be finished and weather appropriate. I think I have like 4 scarf whips on the go right now. Not on the go. They're UFOs. They're not whips. All of which I started between the months of November and January and have not touched since. So that's fun. Anyway, I'm going to get started on this new scarf. And I'm going to see how it goes. Hello, it's like 4:30. I've done no vlogging today. And I didn't vlog yesterday, so super sorry. Actually, I did vlog yesterday. I just didn't finish the day off. Because yesterday was when I started this, the estrad scarf, and it is now a complete scarf. I really love the way the yarn kind of self-striped. The shade is called Custard Cream, and I totally get it. It's a little stiff for a scarf right now. I need to block it. I find with acrylic, you can give it like a real good steam and then it becomes kind of drapey, kind of like this is. This is quite drapey now, to be fair. And given that it's just acrylic, just the cheapest yarnsmiths, you know. So yeah, another project off the list. I have a banging headache today, and you can probably see my eye twitching, which probably means there's more headache to come. And I have an eye test tomorrow, so I kind of want to give myself a good bit of rest. But also, I haven't really edited much of this video, so decisions to be made. If this is going out on Sunday, I want to get at least everything up to and including Friday edited before we go into Sunday. And I will probably try and get Saturday edited as well. I'm going to crochet for a little bit more now, and then this evening I think I'm going to edit. So yeah, instead of like sitting and watching a movie or like a TV show or whatever, I think I'm going to listen to some music while I crochet for this afternoon. I may have pulled a big whip out of my stash to fill in for the estrad scarf. Yeah, this one was tiny. The next one's not. You can kind of see it behind me on the new furniture that came yesterday. So, story time. My partner, my fiance, works in a secondhand furniture warehouse. So a lot of the furniture we have in this house is secondhand or completely mismatching or whatever. So yeah, we got this little ottoman thing. It's actually a pull-out bed, which is really perfect. My sister, well, I have 2 sisters. One of them lives with me. The other one lives in just outside of Leeds. So yeah, whenever she comes down, it's good to have a place for her to stay and stuff. Our couch is nice. Our couch has like 2 really nice recliners on it, but it's not necessarily the easiest thing to sleep on. So it's good to have the sofa as well. Plus it's a little bit of extra seating in the dining room. So when people are over and we're playing games and stuff, we can have more people sitting around the table for games. But yeah, you can kind of see the big mess of Red Heart Super Saver just sitting there. Also the new shoe rack, which we've decoed up kind of cute. But yeah, this is going to be my crochet spot for the afternoon, I think. I don't know if I want to move Sully. Sully's there. That Red Heart Super Saver is for a cardigan that I was making back in January. The reason I picked it out is because it's something that's not really left my mind since I started making it. And I feel like of the list of things in my whips pile at the moment, it is the most my style, I guess would be the right way to put it. I'm just trying to get up the thingy for it. The pattern. Having terrible issues with our internet at the moment. I don't know what's going on there. Oh, I have to show you what else came. Wait a sec. Are you done scratching, sir? So I pre-ordered this thing back in August of last year, and there was definitely a while where I didn't think it was coming at all, and I'd been completely scammed. For real. Because it was kind of too good to be true, but like not enough. Like it was appropriately priced for what it was expecting. It was an indie company run by one person. So I was like, it may not come, it may come. But lo and behold, today it came. This is my Daisy May bag. I hope you know who this is. If not, Daisy May is a character from Animal Crossing New Horizons. She is the seller of turnips in that game. She's the niece, I believe, of Joan, if you've played the older games. But they went and they gave up on Joan because Joan was a little bit scary looking. and they went for Daisy May instead in the newer one, and she's adorable and it looks so cute. And I didn't realise it when I was ordering it, but she had, the owner of the company had this deal on where you got the turnip keyring if you were like one of the first 20 to pre-order, and I was. So cute little plush little turnips as well. I love this bag. It's cute and tiny. I'm a big fan of a small bag. I don't carry much around with me ever, to the point where normally I'm just a pockets person, but I love this bag so much. It's gonna be so cute when I go to do the Animal Crossing Sea Life collab just after my birthday. It's got a furniture zipper somehow. How they put a whole piece of furniture on the zipper beats me. But yeah, I love it. It's so cute. I'm obsessed. But what was I talking about? I was talking about the new project in the rotation. It is the oversized cardigan by Autumn Olive. I have a couple of Autumn Olive's patterns. I didn't realise when I was first buying them that they all came with the standard oversized, like either sweater or cardigan pattern, and then the graphs for the range. I actually really love this idea of like having a base pattern and then add-ons for it, and I feel like it's something I could do with that tapestry cardigan I've been doing. So yeah, I think that would be quite a cool way to do that particular cardigan, because that one's quite kidcore and it's got some kidcore graphs, but the original one I wanted to do was quite steampunky and I wanted to have some kind of celestial graphs for that one. So I feel like that would be a good way to do that pattern if that was something I was interested in, you know, selling for a pattern and whatever. But yeah, this is my next thing. I'm halfway through the back, which is most of the hard work, I guess. As I say, I have not touched it since January, but I'm using Red Heart Super Saver Stripes in Fall, I think is the colour. And then I'm holding that double with, well, I'm holding it, not double, I'm holding it with James C. Birch DK. I hate saying that, it always sounds like it stops conversation. But that James C. Birch DK, which is not really a DK, but it's a very fuzzy yarn, because it's got some like wool and like brushed acrylic and stuff. And that's in autumn tones, I think. But I'm holding it together and I'll show you where we're at so far. So yeah, this is where we're at. I really love this. This is so my colours. And I only very recently bought the buttons I'm going to use for it. So yeah, I guess that's kind of why it's been in my mind. And it looked like I'd stopped at the end of a skein of the Super Saver, so I'm going to have to join in with that. But I need to work out how far up the back I'm at and all that sort of stuff. Also, I used the Red Heart Super Saver Coffee for the ribbing, and I'm going to do the same for the button band and the cuffs. But yeah, new project in rotation. I also liked picking this one because it cleared an entire box of yarn from upstairs, so that's great. I'm hoping by the end of June that I can condense a lot of what I've got going on in my bedroom, because it's kind of crazy. But yeah, I've been nattering for too long. I'm going to get stuck into, I think, the cardigan over there. I'm testing out the natural light in the dining room because we all know I've been using the LEDs all the time. Anyway, happy Friday. I ended up rescheduling my eye test to Sunday because I was just feeling absolutely dreadful this morning for a multitude of reasons. And yeah, then my fiance got called into work because someone called in sick. So he's been working all morning and he's really on his way back now. And I think we're going to head into town now and kind of grab lunch, maybe look for some buttons because I want to get some buttons for this cardigan. Yeah, it's going to be pretty chill, I think. And then tomorrow I'm going on a boating adventure on my in-laws' boat. So that will be fun, I guess. I've kind of shot myself in the foot. I wasn't expecting to need a travel project so soon. And now I need a travel project because it's quite a ways away. Well, it's like enough time that I'd want to take a project in the car. And also, like, I don't know how busy we're going to be. It might just be chilling on this boat. It might just be whatever. So yeah, shot myself in the foot by not having a travelable project because everything that I'm working on is either big colour changes or I'm holding yarn double and it's like quite a heavy project. So yeah, that's not my favourite thing in the world, but we'll see. Anyway, I'm gonna head out in a second and I will chat to you guys later. So I didn't really film anymore on Friday, nor did I like catch up with you guys on Saturday, but I had an absolutely lovely time on Saturday, yesterday in fact. My in-laws have a boat on the Norfolk Broads and we drove up there and we went sailing. It was like a 2-hour journey from the marina where this boat is permanently moored. We then moored up at this little park area. I don't know whereabouts in the Norfolk Broads it was, to be honest. But yeah, I spent the whole day pretty much crocheting and soaking up the sun. It was so lovely and so chill, and yeah, I just want to do it more often, you know. It was just such a nice time. It's obviously Sunday now, Sunday evening in fact. I actually went and did the eye test today. I was very anxious about it. I've never really been anxious about eye tests before. They're very, very normal. I've been having them since I was like probably 5 or 6 years old. I haven't had 20/20 vision ever, I don't think, or at least there wasn't a point in my life where I remember having 20/20 vision. I'm getting to that age now where health starts to be a lot scarier. Like, I'm turning 30 in just over a month. You know, if my father's lifespan is anything to go off, I've got 20 years left, but you know, that's kind of crazy to think about. But yeah, so much more anxious about health stuff nowadays. And if I can feel something off in my body, it's scary to know what it is. Because it's like, if I don't address it, it's not a problem, you know what I mean? And so I've been having moments where my vision gets really blurry. And I recently started medication that is known to have some kind of ocular side effects. And so I've been panicking like crazy, as you do. And I didn't really want to find out that, oh, you're losing your eyesight. Especially because I'm quite creative and a lot of, like, what I do is relies on my vision. I mean, even my job, I'm a software engineer. Like, it would be a lot harder to do my job if I didn't have my eyesight. Let alone all the fun stuff I do, like crocheting. So, yeah. So I went in, and yes, my eyesight has got a lot worse. But funnily enough, it's only in one eye. And it was only the stronger eye. They've now evened out, which is really interesting. And I spoke to the optician about, like, you know, my concerns about side effects and stuff like that to my medication, and they seem to understand, and like they said that nothing's abnormal as of right now. So that's good. Although one thing that did happen is they sent me off to do a peripheral vision check, which is something I've never had to do before. I guess assuming that some of the deterioration I'm feeling in my eyesight might be from my peripherals, like if I've got new blind spots, you know. But I went to do the test and the machine broke. So we don't know if that's got anything, you know, to do with what's going on. But yeah, I mean, I feel like I've got some answers. Like the eye strain I've been feeling is because, you know, my prescription is fine in the eye that hurts, but it's overcompensating for the other eye because the other eye doesn't have the right prescription in it right now. You know, fun stuff like that. And that's kind of the reason why my eye twitches, or, you know. But yeah, that's enough babbling about optician trip. Like, who wants to hear about that? What you're here for is to see the progress on the project. Yeah, as I say, on Saturday I got so much crocheting done. What I did in the end was originally I was going to work on the sleeves of the cardigan, the Trellis Crochet cardigan. As Join As You Go, I was just going to bind on from the side seam of the panels. But instead, I decided to just cast them on from chains rather than, like, bind onto the project. And I just did them as flat panels, and I managed to get them all done in a little bit of Friday evening, and then finished them off yesterday, both of them. And then I seamed up the entire cardigan, and now I'm here starting on the ribbing. I've done a little bit of detailing on the end of the sleeve. So this is the sleeve panel. I worked it horizontally, so like the top chain of the Tunisian crochet is like the the length of the arm rather than round the top of the arm, like the circumference, mainly because I wanted to use measurements that were the same as the patchwork squares, so that if I wanted to remake this with patchwork sleeves as well as patchwork body, I could do that. Or yeah, I guess that was what I was trying to say. If I wanted to do it as like a pattern as well, it gives people the option. But I think on this attempt, because it's for me and my arms are quite short, I went with a shorter measurement than I would probably put in the pattern. So what I did to kind of make them feel oversized still was just added a few rows of the 3 different colours I was using in half double crochet and did a bit of decreasing in the process. I feel like I could probably make that more abrupt in the final sample for the pattern, if I was to make this a pattern. I mean, I keep toying around with it. It's kind of fuzzy in my head. I feel like it's really difficult to know whether this is something that's totally been done before. I don't want to take away from anybody's, creativity and their own patterns that they've made. I don't want to take away from anybody else's hard work. But at the same time, I'm aware that nothing in this world is technically original and you still like an artist and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, going through the thought process of monetizing part of my work, But yeah, I genuinely, I'm really happy with the way this is going, and the way it looks on so far, I feel more comfortable wearing it than I was expecting to. These sort of colours aren't really my sort of colours. I lean a lot into like earth tones, but most of the time I just wear a t-shirt and jeans, especially to work. But this is coming up a lot more wearable for me than I was expecting, so that's great. Means that I'm actually going to get some wear out of something I make, which is always good. And especially seeing as this is all scrapped from a project that wasn't for me. Anyway, before I go, I wanted to show you, before I put it on to show you like the progress of where we're at for the end of the vlog, I wanted to show you the absolute score I got replacing the blue yarn. So I have been using Yarnsmith's Create Aran for the blue of this pattern, but I knew I'd need more to be able to do the ribbing. And this is actually like volume rise. This is the most yarn out of any of the contrast colours. So it had to be blue. Also, I find ribbing, I tend to like ribbing the best when it's in the darkest of the colours in a given project, from my experience, but there's always time to prove me wrong. But anyway, I needed another ball of this. And as we know from the beginning of the video, all my yarn purchases have to be verified by my household, I guess. Mainly just my fiancé, to be honest. He's getting a bit annoyed with how much yarn I have in the house. So absolutely, I'm cool with it. It's not a problem. But we were chatting about it and I was like, I need another blue to finish this project I'm doing. I'm so close to finishing it, just need the blue. And then I was like, it's normally like £1.75, £2 on Wool Warehouse, but it's free delivery over £30. So it would be like, I'd have to buy a lot more yarn to get it at the right price. Whereas if I go into town, I go into a yarn store, I can probably get something similar for £2 to £3. So can we do it while I'm here today and while we're looking for buttons? Because that was part of the plan on Friday. So obviously he was like, yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, it didn't really matter how much it costed. It was more so a case of, you don't need to buy more yarn unless it's for this project and to finish this project. But yeah, if we could get something on the day, that's always going to help. It means you can finish the project quicker, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, so this is the Create Aran from Yarnsmiths. And I was trying to find as close of a duplicate to this as possible. I didn't bring a swatch with me because I didn't even think about it, but somehow I did all right. This is the Stylecraft Special Aran in the shade Royal. I think this one's called Royal Blue, this Create Aran, so that's kind of funny. But they're very slightly different. This one is it's more of like a rich blue. In person, they're a lot less different. It looks a lot more purple on camera, this one, and this one looks more grey. But they're not too dissimilar. When I hold them up next to each other on the project, I don't really mind the difference. And I'm kind of I'm not going to try and get halfway through a piece of ribbon with this and then carry on with this. My plan is to use the rest of this for the sleeve ribbing, and then when we get to the body ribbing, I'm just going to go straight into this, and it's fine if there's a little bit of scrap. So yeah, I feel like it wasn't a bad idea, and they're very similar, so I'm very happy with that. And then I also have the buttons. So these are the buttons that I got for the cardigan as well. They're quite big. I felt like they needed to be. They weren't my first choice, actually. They had like a bunch of different colours of these and 3 different sizes. And originally I picked the medium-sized one in yellow because I thought there's less yellow on this thing. Be good to get some more yellow into the project. But then I kept looking at them and I was like, these feel too small. I think we need to go up a size. So I went to the little box that had all the yellow ones in of the larger size, and there was one left. And I was like, I can't do anything with this. So I compromised and went for the red. I like them. Don't get me wrong. They're just, in my mind, it was like, the yellow would have been perfect. But these are good. These are good, don't get me wrong. So, yeah. Anyway, I've been talking for way too long. I'm going to give you a quick view of the cardigan in its current state. So this is the cardigan so far. I really love the way the sleeve is going. I'm really excited about it. I think those little stripes at the bottom just give it something nice at the end there. It kind of ties it all together. I love it. And as I say, it's not as out there as I was expecting it to be. So, always great. Big fan. I think it fits nicely. I think once it's blocked, because I haven't blocked it yet at all, I think once it's blocked, it's going to sit a little bit longer, a little more oversized. And yeah, I'm excited about it. So with that, I'm going to bid you all a farewell for this week. I feel like we got a lot done. Considering that I'd only done, 2 panels of this cardigan? Like the 2 columns, I mean. And now we've got basically all of it done. We finished 2 pattern tests. We made a scarf. We made a big decision about another project that I was trying to make work but couldn't. And we bought a long-standing whip out of hibernation for a while. So yeah, when you catch me next time, I will probably be finishing this, as well as the other cardigan that we were working on earlier in the video, and I'm sure we'll be working on plenty of other projects as well. I've still got so many more whips. So yeah, thank you all for sticking around this long. I feel like I've been talking forever, and I knew how long this video was before it even started talking, so I've just added another 20 minutes to the runtime, probably. So, thank you for sticking around. I'm going to try and post every Monday, so yeah, stick around for that. There may also be, every once in a while, like a podcasty sort of video that isn't on a Monday, but we're going to play fast and loose with that. It's not going to be scheduled or anything. It's just going to be when I have the time and when I can, because, you know, full-time job, thinks a lot that her hobbies are also a full-time thing, you know. Basically, don't expect it, but expect it. And yeah, hope to see you all again sometime soon.